Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we're back with more variable Barricade. What was the over-under, by the way? What were the bets going, and what the fuck is wrong with me? It's magic. I mean, I don't know that it's the only thing, but I'm like, well, that answers a lot of fucking questions. What did I say? Did I say it to you? Because I know I said it to my friend. If I fucking go, and I'm like low in like iron or something like that, I'm gonna be so fucking mad. Yeah, so, all of a sudden I get a text from my pharmacy like, oh, we've got a new prescription for you, and they don't tell you. They show you like the first two letters and then they asterisk out like everything else. So, and then it's like, oh, you have to click here to fill in your insurance information, and I'm like, is this really from my pharmacy? Because I don't have the number saved apparently. Sometimes they text you from different numbers, so it's like whatever. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why would they claim it? It's not like when you get text from like Amazon Secure 8625 account thing, and you're like, that's bullshit. It's a fucking scam right there. So I'm like, well, let me go, because like my doctor will put up, you know, your blood test results online, and you know, so I go to see email. Oh, your lab results are in. I'm like, okay. So I look and I'm like, all right, so it's a legit prescription. But I'm like, but they didn't bother to call me. It's been all fucking day. They didn't call me to be like, hey, here you go. And by the way, we filled a prescription for this and whatever. It's like I'm just supposed to guess. I'm like, look, I get it. I'm not like totally old. I can sort of kind of half with it. Also having brain issues, so maybe you should assume I'm not with it, right? So I go and I'm looking and I'm like, okay, well that says normal. And then some of them it just has numbers and you're like, I don't know what that means, so I don't even know what the fuck this test was. So I go in and I look. Okay. Motherfucking vitamin D. Really? I'm not surprised actually, because like years and years and years and years ago, when one of the last times I went to the doctor, my vitamin D was low once before. I don't think it was this bad. So like your vitamin D is supposed to be between 30 and 100. You're 21 to 29, it's basic, but your number. If your number's 21 to 29, that's insufficient. Like, it's not good. You could probably use some. If it's under 20, you're deficient, right? So, okay. I'm looking and I'm like, no wonder they send me the pills. They're weekly pills. Like the 50,000 IUs, international units, for a week, okay? You take one pill a week, but they're 50,000 IUs each, okay? It's like basically like overdosing you on vitamin D, because mine isn't even 5. I don't know what's wrong with me. Apparently I'm stupid. But just fun fact, go around to your house and look at every fucking thing in your cabinets and your freezer, everything. Nothing has vitamin D in it. Nothing. Nothing. Jesus Christ. I'm pretty sure every single fucking person needs to be in a multivitamin, because like, unless you actually go out and sit in the sun and like, fuck that shit, the sun is dangerous. I don't want to get skin cancer. So what are my options? I have enough vitamin D or I get skin cancer? Like, you can't have both. Like, what the fuck? I want to be skin cancer free but have enough vitamin D. It's not happening. Like, seriously, 4.7. Like, that's really fucking excessive. That's really bad. Okay. Like, basically have no vitamin D in my body. That could explain a lot. And I'm like, well, it does explain the tiredness, the fact that I like, you know, no matter what I do trying to lose weight, it's not really working, because my body's like, fuck you, bitch. I'm basically dead, vitamin D wise. Although it did say dizziness and everything, and I'm like, yeah, but the blacking out really. But then again, with it being so low, maybe that, like, I don't know. So, oh my god. But it is scary though, because lack of vitamin D can actually lead to heart problems, and it's like, I've probably been deficient in vitamin D for like a long time. I don't think this is new. I mean, granted, I used to walk more at my old house, like in the fall and stuff, but never really in the summer because it's too hot. So I'm like, yeah, I mean, okay. So even in the spring here, I wasn't walking as much. But most of that was still in the shade. So I'm like, I get it. I don't technically go out as much as I used to, but that still wasn't that much. So it's not like, so my vitamin D was not like awesome and then it went tanking. You know, I mean, it's always been fucking low and like shit. And I'm like, and my friend asked, what the fuck do you eat? And I'm like, it doesn't matter what you eat. There's literally no vitamin D in anything. Unless you get fucking like orange juice with vitamin D or something. But like seriously, or you're eating a lot of fish. I don't eat a lot of fish. Take every fucking package out of everything you look at has no vitamin D. Not even your goddamn cheese. You're like, this is why. That's not in anything. The fuck? But So there you go. So, slightly mad because it's like I went to a doctor for just a fucking low fucking vitamin. But at the same time, it was really fucking low and like whatever. And like even all day, I haven't blacked out, but I'm like, I get that you have a tell. Your body has a tell. And like everybody, like when you're like, I'm gonna vomit. Not I feel nauseous. Like, oh, I feel a little nauseous. It's I feel nauseous too. I'm gonna vomit. I can feel it. Mine is like a chill in my cheeks, like by my back teeth, and it's like, oh nope, we're gone. That's it. That's it. You don't have any. That's it. That's your vomit tell. Okay. There's like nausea where you're like, oh, I just don't feel good. I feel a little nauseous. And then there's the, oh fuck, I think I'm on that verge of vomiting. And then there's straight up, we're done. I'm gone. Like it's happening. There's no stopping it now, And like, but like with blackouts, it's like I keep feeling this. Like I'm like I definitely get like a burning sensation in my sinuses before like I hit that like fuck I'm gonna black out. But it usually comes with other things. But I've been getting a little burning in my sinuses all day, and I'm like, just a little tickle, and I'm like, I feel you. I'm not doing this. So I'm like, so it's been there. Like I haven't hit that blackout moment, but like I get that little tingle in my sinuses, and I'm like, that's not good. It goes away like it's only a couple seconds, so it's almost like the little blackout demon is like poking, like, hello, hi, still here, still gonna knock you on your ass, but like. But we're fine. Don't worry. I'm managing this all day. But I did take my vitamin D today. Jesus Christ. So I'm not dying yet. I don't know if they want me to go to the neurologist still, but like whatevs, I might as well, just in case. By the time this goes up, I'll have gone to the neurologist because, to be honest with you, I'm only like 2 weeks ahead. I'm so fucking behind on this. So I also did not want to record today. I'm like, I'm fucking tired. Like I'm so exhausted. Literally. Now I know why, but you know what? We're going to plug on because we are so fucking far behind. We need to do this. Anyway, there you go. In case you were taking bets on what's killing me slowly, it's the lack of vitamin D. Because my ass doesn't go outside and food doesn't actually have vitamin D fucking in it anywhere. Take a multivitamin, kids, okay? Get your Flintstones out. Whatever. Have at them. Just saying. Spacey, in apology for what happened, I'll take your request for dinner. Is there anything you'd like to have tonight? A lot of fucking vitamin D. I'm fine with anything that's ordinary and tasty. Huh? Jeez, that's the hardest thing to cook, Ichia groaned and rubbed his temple. I ignored him and made my way straight to the foyer. It's simple curiosity, that's all. Okay, we could have literally done that in the last part, but I didn't know it was going to go that fast, but whatever. Secret effort. Ichia makes a purposefully low-key effort to win my heart. Aiga drops in to give him some advice. Oh, what the hell's happening? Sorry, I'm just scrolling up. Play this event, yes. I was just making sure that it's the next one, even though there's no other options. She liked the taste of the candied chestnuts, but there's definitely room for some more visual panache. My inability to read is probably from my low vitamin D. I'm just saying. That explains everything that you've been dealing with for 5 years, because Lord knows my vitamin D has probably been low for, like, ever. Maybe if I could read... Oh, yeah, okay, wow. I really can't blame it on that. My just inability to read. Yeah, whatever. Maybe if I could redo them as Mont Blanc-style chestnut cake. That'd be cute. She might like... No. If I get too caught up in trying to make it cutesy and girlish, I'd just be repeating my old mistakes. I think I ought to leave it here for now. Take a break. I rolled my stiff shoulders and headed to the sink, getting ready to tackle the messy remains of tonight's losing battle. I'd only meant to tinker a little with ideas for new desserts, but the clock was already creeping towards midnight. Sumiko told me this over and over, and now I understand how right she is. Cooking for that special someone is simple, but in no way easy. I started cooking for a pretty straightforward reason. Girls liked it. A guy can earn a lot of points with any girl if he simply knows how to cook decent meals. He's not wrong. I mean, I'm just saying. Like, if you don't know how to cook, it's not like, oh, well, God, you don't know how to cook. What the hell? But when you do, you're like, oh, I'm impressed. Like, well, I'm just saying. It's almost funny how quickly a woman's opinion of me skyrockets when I whip up a dish for them. And that's why all the cooking I'd ever done focused on presentation first and foremost. The girls seem to love cute dishes most of all. But now... Yes, I do like cute things. I do appreciate that you cook for me. It tastes good and I'll eat every bite. But you haven't been cooking for me this entire time. What she said to me that day struck the core of my being, for better or worse. I no longer wanted my food to simply please any girl. I wanted to put all my cooking efforts squarely into pleasing Spacey. Even if 99 out of 100 people loved a dish I made, if Spacey doesn't love it, then it's not worth it. I appreciate that about you, Ichian. I could think about it more tomorrow. A few final ideas tumbled through my head as I wiped up the last of the mess splashed around the counter. Just then... Ichiya? Huh? I looked up, snapped out of my thoughts. Peeking into the kitchen from the doorway. Spacey. Dun dun dun. I just feel like everything he says is dramatic. Everything he thinks is slightly dramatic. Just the way I read him, I don't know. Spacey, oh, what's up? It's almost midnight, you know. I got absorbed in some crocheting. When I looked up, it was already late. I thought I'd get something to drink. That's all. Ah, I see. Oh, wait just a minute then. I'll make some hot cocoa for you. That ought to help you relax and fall asleep. Thanks. Spacey wrapped her hands around the steaming cup and blew on the cocoa a few times before she took a sip. It's delicious. Those words alone were enough to make waves of happiness wash over me. Seeing her so relaxed brought a smile to my face. You know, it's weird. When you first moved in, you did everything you could to avoid sitting down and having a drink together with me like this. I still want to avoid it. What? Because I find it hard to relax lately when I'm alone with you. Huh? What do you mean by that? Spacey took a long sip of her hot chocolate, as if shielding herself against my question with her mug. She looked adorable doing it too. I enjoyed the view for a second before looking down at my own cocoa. She had changed. It seemed like it to me anyway, though I couldn't really explain how. She'd stopped obviously attempting to get away from me whenever I was around, at least. We'd grown closer together, that much I could say for sure. And yet... there's still something missing. Something that would truly let us trust each other. Is something the matter? Oh, no. I was simply basking in the bright joy your presence brings me is all. Oh. Damn it. Completely messed that one up. She gave me a look. You know the kind. And I tried not to wince. Look at how sad Ichiya looks. He's like, I was just basking in your glorious presence. And she's like, oh. And he's like, oh. Cheesy lines are not right. Like, he's like putting up a front. She's like, oh. Oh, and it makes him sad. Look at his sad face. He's adorable. You just want to pat him on the head. It's okay, sweet. I have to be up early tomorrow, so I think I'll head to bed. You? Yeah. I'll be calling it a night, too. Good night. Night. Oh, and... thank you for the cocoa. And with that, Spacey got up and left the dining room, without looking back. Ugh, she's so cute. He's blushing now. Every once in a great while, I caught a little glimpse of her shy concern, and it grabbed me by the heart every time. What do I have to do to take her heart? I only had one thing going for me, my cooking, and she'd only begun to enjoy that very recently. I didn't have anything else, and that hurt. Compliments and sweet talk bounced off her like rubber, and she was unexcited about presents. Basically, all the dating skills I put so much time into polishing were completely useless. Sorry, just wanted to be slightly dramatic. They're useless! Hell, it was entirely possible that my repertoire of skills depreciated my chances to woo her. Ugh! I wish I could lose all my memories and rebuild my entire history and begin from scratch! Look, there's an exclamation point, so it was fucking dramatic. The hell, bro? Finally lose your grip on your sanity? Taiga. Oh well, you're just the guy I wanted to see. You got a bad case of the munchies. If you're in here, I assume you were practicing new recipes again. If you got any leftovers, I'll take them. If not, can you whip me up something? What? Don't got any leftovers? I didn't say that, no. It's just... Ugh. And what's with this sudden pall of gloom everywhere? It felt like a bucket of ice water had been dumped on me, snapping me out of the bittersweet euphoria I drifted through whenever I was in Spacey's presence. Gee, man, I just wish somebody was in bittersweet euphoria when they're in my presence. Ichi. You bring my half-dead brain joy, even if I slowly want to fall asleep right now. I kept my sigh of disappointment to myself as I walked over to the fridge. I have candied chestnuts if you want them. They're not completely done yet, though. What? That stuff? That's her favorite snack or something, right? Sure you don't want to save it for her? The recipe is still in the experimental stage. I screwed up the ratio of sugar to mirin in this batch anyway. It's awful. It'd be like serving her dog food. But you're totally okay giving it... Wow. But you're totally okay giving it to me, huh? Thanks, bro. Sheesh. Oh well, I'm hungry enough to eat dog food. And Taiga picked up his chopsticks, complaining all the time. I ignored him and let my thoughts wander. I'd just gotten done mulling over how Spacey had changed, but I think I'd probably changed a little too. I mean, the old me never would have bothered making a midnight snack for a guy. Taiga... What? It's not that bad. You got damn high standards if this isn't good enough for you. Thanks, but forget that. What do you think of Spacey? Jeez, that came out of nowhere. Something happened between you two? Not really. Isn't it natural to be curious about a rival? I'm not in this to lose, you know. Or fucking Ichi's lost every fucking round so far. I mean, this one he'll win. Hopefully. I would assume. That's where we're going. Oh, this from the guy who's all, it's decided and her heart's already mine, losers. What happened to all that unshakable confidence? Come on, I'm being serious. Are you going to answer or not? I looked Taiga in the eye, trying to impress upon him how serious I was. He must have picked up the hint because he suddenly looked thoughtful as he ate. Whenever me or the other two think about her, that doesn't change what you're after, right? All you need to do is use what you got to make her think you're attractive enough to fall for. Why bother with us, you know? True. You do have a point. And a painful one at that. Feeling awkward, I looked away. Like, use what you got, and Ichi was just over there like, I have nothing! Oh. What was I trying to get him to say, anyway? He never seemed too invested in her. Or was I trying to get him to admit his flippancy so I could feel better about my own chances? Sorry, forget it. I got a little sappy, that's all. What am I even saying? We're rivals. Boy, I suck so bad at interacting with other guys. I must have looked pathetic because Taiga was inspired to reach out and give me a reassuring pat on my shoulder. I don't know what's got you down, but don't think about it too hard, Kay. You're doing well enough by just being you. I don't need pity or consolations. I'm well aware that all my best efforts aren't making an impact on her. Before, yeah, but now? I'm not so sure. Your date with her turned out pretty well, right? I heard she had a good time. Well, yeah, I guess. But I'm missing that last magic ingredient to really get into her heart. What, trying to blitzkrieg your way through? Just so you know, I don't think there's any pickup line out there that's guaranteed to get her to fall for you. I know. Guess I'm just panicking a little. Huh. Somebody's being honest tonight. I'm just really serious about this, alright? Don't make fun. Taiga sopped up the last of the candied chestnut sauce on his plate, and then looked up at me. You sure you're jumpy and introspective just because of 3 of us? I'm thinking it's something else. He looked straight at me. I flinched. What else could there be? I'm concerned about what my rivals are up to, that's all. Uh-huh. All 4 of us accepted what's basically a big gamble, trying to make one girl fall for us. We all got some crap going on in our lives. Trust me. Oh? So you admit you do too, huh? Huh. Good question. I'm leaving my stuff to the side for now. What's important is that, whatever your crap is, it's got nothing to do with her. She doesn't care. She's gonna do things her way, and that's that. Personally, I think the best idea is to keep doing the trial and error stuff you got going on now. Get panicky and you'll just do something dumb. The truth of Taiga's words jolted me through my heart. The silence stretched for a long moment. But when I didn't say anything, he seemed to figure we were done talking because he got up from his seat. Thanks for the grub. Let me find some recipe that she likes. He strolled out of the kitchen. After I was sure he was gone, I let out a heavy sigh. Imagine. I couldn't get too much more dramatic than that. My voice is still fucked. That made me tired. Sorry. Taiga is sharper than a sashimi knife, that's for sure. He could be scarily observant at times, so much so that he reminded me of someone else I knew. And no wonder I wasn't overly fond of him. Panic is my enemy. I should have already known that, but it's just so tempting to rush in, flailing. And because there's no way around it, I'm insecure. I want her to accept me. I want her to choose me. You just have to open up and admit that you're slightly insecure and just kind of be yourself. The awkward fucking nerd who's really good at cooking. And is cheesy as shit. It's kind of more adorable. The fact that you're slightly fucking insecure and a little awkward fucking makes it cuter, I'm just saying. I want her to love me. I wanted her to someday feel the same powerful affection for me as I did for her. And that desire was always smoldering away in my heart. I guess this time it just flared up and made me panic. Spacey will do things her way, And Taiga gave me a warning. I should take it to heart. I'd already struck a painful nerve with her once. I didn't want to repeat that mistake. If, on the slim chance, everything goes great and I do end up married to Spacey, then maybe... Perhaps I could purge my past and be rid of the ugliness deep within my heart. I could finally stand as myself. Secret effort. That's what it is. I'm gonna guess we go up here and do speak normally. Boop. I want to learn more about who Ichia really is, but he insists he already shows me every side to him. Ichia, I want the side of you that's not, like, a bumbling idiot. Actually, I want the side of you. I'm a bumbling idiot. I'm sorry. The 4 men chosen as my suitors were all quirky, if I'm being kind. Problematic was more accurate. Even taking that into account, the one who'd made the worst first impression on me was Ichia. The reason was simple. Almost everything that spilled from his mouth when he was around me was a terrible pickup line or an insincere compliment. Oh, whoa, you surprised me. You're even more beautiful than you were yesterday. Oh, pardon me, but I just can't stop staring at your angelic beauty. Surely you cast a magic spell on yourself last night under the romantic glare of the full moon? Was it a spell to make yourself more ravishing? At first, every time he spoke, I felt shivers of dread run down my spine and had to fight the urge to turn and run out of the room. But I suppose I've grown accustomed to his schlock, as I could mostly let it bounce off me now. Then let me cast one more spell on you, one to help that dormant seed of affection in your heart sprout as tall and strong as a mighty oak. Good morning, my sweet Princess Spacey. Your destined lover is here to fulfill your every desire. I think, like, the fact that it's like, good fucking God, where do you get these? How? Do you stay up all night writing these? Do you just have, like the amount of brain power and effort you have to put into saying this shit? You could, like, have cured cancer or some crap. Like, you could have, like, stopped global warming. Like, you could have learned how to fly. I mean, like, actually fly. Not, like, get in a plane and fly. I mean, like, you could have literally, like, figured out, like, given yourself superpowers with the amount of brain power you have to think of all these fucking lines and just be on with every single one of them every single time. And every single situation, you've got, like, 10 ready to go. Just, like, a whole mantra going out. Like, just a whole monologue, a soliloquy of just all this fucking shit. And, like, I'm just serious. Like, I'm just impressed, you know? Stuck your foot in your mouth right up to your ankle again, Ichiya. Just another morning for you. Hey, who wants breakfast? I'm starving. I can't do Nayuta's voice right now. It's a wreck. I'm sorry. Ugh, guys, why do you always have to interrupt us every single time? I swear. Whatever, just sit down. I made breakfast for her and just happened to have enough left over for you lot, so be grateful. Why does that make me want waffles for some fucking reason? Anyway. Oh, that's me. Having developed the skill to just let it all go, I let his words go in one ear and out the other. The others teased him over it and he got annoyed, and then they all sat and ate like nothing happened. That's the way it usually went. But Spacey, is something wrong? I didn't take my seat. Not right away. Instead, I looked at Ichiya. He looked back, tilting his head in curiosity. Say, Ichiya? Hmm? Could you try speaking to me like a normal person? Huh? When you talked to me, you always had cloying compliments and pitiful pickup lines in nearly every sentence. Isn't that right? Cloying? Pitiful? Could you maybe stop doing that? I'd like it if you would talk to me like you talk to everyone else. You know, normally. Like a human being. Normally? Yes, normally. Please. Why did he suddenly freeze up? I'm sorry, Spacey. I thought I already was interacting with you normally. This is normal for Ichiya. I don't think he knows how to talk to a woman any differently than this, because this is just what he's been doing for so long. Now he's like, wait, what? He doesn't know how to turn it off. He's like, it's stuck on. Could you, maybe let me know exactly what displeases you about the way I talk? I'm sorry. Never mind. Forget I said anything. May we have breakfast now? Oh, sure. I'll get it ready for you right now. What's this all about, Did Ichiya do something wrong, perhaps? No, not really. I just, want him to act more normally around me. Telling Ichiya to not flirt with every girl he sees is like telling him to hold his breath until he dies. Oh, really? Oh my gosh! Spacey, do you really want Ichiya to smother and die? No! That's not it at all. Forget it, okay? Pretend I didn't say anything. Well, that failed spectacularly. I busied myself with my breakfast, hiding a disappointed sigh. It was too sudden, I suppose. I'll have to think of some gentler way to bring up the topic again. Yes, I'd grown almost completely accustomed to Ichiya's constant flirting, but something I looked at last night made me wonder about why he did it all the time. It began after I finished my homework. I pulled out a certain sheet of paper and stared at it with more concentration than I'd given my schoolwork. Ichiya Mitsumori, age 26, born July 13th, Cancer, blood type A. Special note. Marriage fraud attempted. It was the result of Ichiya's background report. I thought my initial glance had been sufficient for getting an idea of what Ichiya was like, but getting closer to him prompted me to take another look. Of course, for a character report, it was quite lacking. It was less of a background check and more of a simple bio page. Grandfather's decision to hand me sparse information was probably related to what he said the other day. Do they have something? Yeah. It's important to observe people as themselves, outside of their titles and families, especially when choosing with someone with whom to share your life. That's actually nice of him. He's not like, oh, titles are important. He's like, outside of titles and all that bullshit, you should find someone you're going to spend your life with that you actually want to be around. You know, I mean, that's nice for a rich person to say that, because most, like, fancy-ass rich people are like, whatever. It's like, oh, well, you don't have a title. You can't marry into poverty. He's only a millionaire. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, it's not a joke. Like, say. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, Grandpa's over here like, yeah, fuck titles and shit. Like, don't worry about that crap. Find someone that you can tolerate. Props, Gramps. I hated to admit it, but I could see what he meant. Even this little bit of information had been enough to fuel my bias and prevent me from looking at him for who he was. If I'd been given even more information, it probably would have only fueled that bias. Yeah, that he's fucking like a rich bitch. We know. But, I mean, we don't know, but I mean, it's pretty sus. Really, really curious now. After thinking hard about it, I pulled out my phone and opened up a search engine. I pulled out my phone. You could say I pulled out my phone and opened up a search engine. Could have been on the next page. It's always cut in the weirdest spots. Ichiya Mitsumori. I scrolled through the results, but none of them were a match for him. That was somewhat surprising. These days it wasn't at all unusual for people's real names to make it onto the internet, via school, work, or just social media. If I searched my name, there'd be more than a few hits even. I can't remember the Mitsumori name ever mentioned in association with the Tojo family, either socially or in a business capacity. I feel like that's not like his real last name, or it's like, oh, I use my mother's name. You know what I mean? It's something, because like, I even checked with Samugi, who was far more versed in the who's who of influential society circles, and she didn't recognize the name. Who in the world is Ichiya? Shion's probably right in that he has to be from a family that's notably well-to-do. My brow furrowed and I entered new search terms. I was curious about Ichiya's family, yes. There was something else at the fore of my mind. Mitsumori, marriage, fraud. No hits. Unsurprising. It was only attempted, and if it was a case that garnered enough gossip to wind up on the internet, Grandfather never would have picked him. Besides, knowing Ichiya as much as I did now, he wouldn't do it. He's not the sort to deceive anyone. I never interacted with any criminals, but I had met more than a few influential business people. Polite facades were commonplace with them. Ichiya didn't have the impersonal chill necessary to put up a front and mask his true nature. He was too honest, for better or worse. Not only that, I wasn't really interested in whether or not he'd attempted to do something fraudulent. Fraud or not, Ichiya was engaged, on the verge of marrying someone. What went wrong? Something happened that could have been considered an act of fraud in some way? Like, that's exactly it. Like, I kind of feel like it was like, I mean, I do think maybe it was an arranged thing and he backed out and they were like, marriage fraud! And it wasn't like, you know what I mean? The more I thought about it, the more bothered I got. I was starting to feel irritated. Honestly, I have the feeling somebody else got the wrong idea and then falsely blamed Ichiya for it. That seems far more likely with him. Maybe it was Kazu. They blamed Ichiya for it and it was actually like, you know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure Kazu's his fucking brother. Like, he just showed up and hasn't come back yet. Please. I could easily see him flailing in panic, desperately insisting it wasn't what he meant at all. I almost giggled aloud at the mental image, but then I sighed and got my mind back on track. I wonder, how many relationships Ichiya has had with other women? It was easy even for me to tell from how Ichiya spoke and acted, both on our date and at home, that he had plenty of experience with romantic relationships. He has plenty of experience flirting. And maybe, like, having a little bit of, like, date romance. But I don't know about, like, full-on, like, real deep relationships if he's so insecure. You know what I mean? Considering his age, it made sense that he'd have had at least a few. But why do I feel so conflicted about that? Because you're like, I feel now insecure. You're like, I'm totally fine in myself. And then you're like, you know all the, oh, now I'm starting to doubt myself. You know what I mean? Really? I really can't do Samugi's face. Really? You do? Oh, thank Eros and Aphrodite. It finally happened. You've been shot through the heart by the arrow of love. Oh, poor Samugi. She's just not as good anymore. I'm sorry, Samugi. My inability to speak properly for the last few days has just totally ruined you. What about anything I just said makes you think that? Everything. Every last word. Oh my gosh, you're so adorable. I really can't do her voice. It's funny. I don't even go that high for her voice, but it's like, wow, that is a dead register right there. Like, I can't go there. I chatted with Samugi about last night and what happened this morning. The conversation broke her brain. Samugi was my best friend, so I told her what I could about the plan for my temporary fiancé in Ichiya. This let me ask her for advice when I needed it, which was a blessing. The problem was, every time I brought it up, she dissolved into fits. Like this. An older boyfriend, of course he'll have exes. The specter of the old flame will always loom above my dear young friend, haunting her dreams. A little better. He's not my boyfriend, and I'm not being haunted by any specter. Oh, but you want him to stop using all those sweet little compliments and pet names on you, right? You're like, you used those same compliments to woo your exes, didn't you? I don't want any recycled pickup lines. I deserve better. Right? No, not really. I just like him to talk to me the same way he talks to anyone else. I'm sure it'll let me learn more about him as a person. Oh, I know. Trust me, I know. What lady wants just any garbage line when she could have a special one tailored for her? You don't want to be like his other women. This isn't what I meant. Or that isn't what I meant, sorry. Oh, I think it is. Samugi answered bluntly as she looked straight at me. For some reason, I couldn't say anything back. Words you used to ignore effortlessly before are starting to catch your attention. They matter to you now. And you know why, don't you? Well, I will say that I'm a tiny bit more curious about Ichiya as a person than I was before. Which was another way of saying that he was no longer someone I didn't care about. Little things now concerned me. I asked why. I asked how. Because I cared about the answer. Of course you are. And then it's no surprise that you want to know about whatever may be hiding in his past. It's only natural. Exactly. But there's only so much I can look into myself. Why? Because grandfather's put a stopper on anything related to him, I think. And Kasuga won't assist me with the search. No, I meant, why don't you simply ask Mr. Mitsumori directly? I turned my eyes away from her. If you've no other way of getting information, that's the most obvious way. Well, yes. Indeed, it's a delicate issue. I completely understand why you'd hesitate. I mean, asking a man why he broke up with his old flame. Ooh! Hey! All I want to know about is that marriage fraud thing and whatever family issues he might have. That's precisely what I said. Is it? It's going to be a touchy subject, that's for sure. But that's exactly why asking him directly is the best idea. It'll give you an idea how serious he is, too. Don't try to wiggle out of it just because you're embarrassed, Spacey. Be bold. Be a credit to your name. After sitting in my room and stewing on it for a good long time, I finally made up my mind and walked down to Ichiya's room. Tonight, unusually, he'd gone straight back to his room after cleaning up the dinner dishes. I'm just going to chat with him for a bit. There's nothing wrong with that. I glared at the doorknob, taking a few deep breaths to calm myself. Then I raised my hand to knock. Yes, I hear you. You don't have to break down the door. I'll be there in a sec. What, Nayuta? There's plenty of leftovers in the fridge if you want a late-night snack. Spacey. His eyes opened wide in shock. I gathered my courage and said, I'd like to talk. Bedroom is literally, like, nothing fucking in it. Everyone else's room is shit in it, whatever, and his room is, like, a bed. There's not a poster on the wall, there's not a photo, there's, like, not a phone charger, nothing. This was the first time I'd ever stepped inside of Ichiya's room. I feel like it's the first time we've ever been in here, too, like... I mean, I don't remember, I thought in one of the other, like, in somewhere in the common route we might have been in other people's rooms, but maybe not, I don't know. Neatly decorated in mature black and white, it seemed very much like an adult man's room. But besides the large bed, there wasn't much else in it. It barely felt lived in. It made me wonder. Yes, this does seem like him, but It was almost as if I'd stepped into a model showroom in a furniture shop. I glanced around, curious. Spacey. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to gawk. No, that's okay. I don't mind. But, I guess I never expected you to come and visit me in my room. I'm happy to see you, of course, but I'm a little worried, too. Did I, do something wrong? For some reason, Ichiya seemed hesitant, looking at me timidly. Wait, do you kind of want me to punish you? Did I do something? Now you to fucking bussin'. I want you to punish me! And I'll take it for him! I'm just saying. He would. Worried. Why would he be scared? Do you recall doing something wrong? No? So, to be honest, having you show up in my room at this hour of night is going to give me ideas that are probably way off the mark. Trust me, they are. Now that was more like him. My shoulders loosened, and a little tension drained out. I'd be fine. I'm sure I could talk to him. 2 hours later, we're just staring at each other. I'll get to it. He's like, Spacey, wait for it! I have to formulate my thoughts. Anyway, I just wanted to chat for a bit. See, Ichiya, I was wondering... You don't have to say it. I was going to ask too. Huh? This is about this morning, right? I spent all day thinking over why you'd suddenly ask me something like that. You said it wasn't that I'd done anything wrong, right? That does... Oh, then does that mean something in you has changed? No, never mind that. It's fine. I wanted to ask you something else. You don't have to hide it. I'd rather you didn't. Uh-oh. This was bad. The whole conversation had suddenly changed direction. And seeing the intense look on Ichiya's face made me think that trying to steer the topic back on course might not be the best idea. You mentioned talking normally, but like I told you this morning, I thought I'd been speaking normally with you. At least that's my intention. You're like, this is talking normally. You're not sugarcoating it. You don't say the pickup lines. I asked Taiga and the others about it, and they said that maybe I should stop using so many words that could be construed as flirtatious. Well, yes, basically. Please? I knew it. You don't like it when I'm flirty? Then does that mean... You... Well... Don't take me seriously as your suitor anymore. I'm sorry, you can just imagine Ichiya's like, you... Don't take me seriously as your suitor anymore? Because he's trying to hold back the sob. Look at his sad, beautiful face. Oh. What? Why wouldn't I? Huh? But telling me to be normal is your gentle way of telling me that my flirting annoys you, and you want me to knock it off, right? Wow, he was way off base. I hurriedly shook my head. No, that's not it. I really mean that. It's just, I stopped, fumbling for the right words. What should I say to him? It's completely ineffective. I want to know the real you. I feel like it's I want to know the real you. Like, it's completely ineffective. It's true. But I want to know the real you is, like, more, like... is less vague. Like, it's completely ineffective is like, yeah, that ain't gonna work. Well, what is gonna work? I'm not telling you, but it's just not that. You know what I mean? But this is like, I want to know you. I want to get to know you. I want to, like, know your soul. See that episode of How I Met Your Mother? Like, freaking Ted's dating Victoria, the girl, like, the bakery girl. They're like, I don't know why that just popped into my fucking head. I rewatched How I Met Your Mother not that long ago, like a month or two ago. I was just, I want to know you. Like, I want to, like, really know you. Like, I want to know your soul. They're just saying shit like that. Basically being Ichiya. Yes, I want to know the real you. Good. Perfect. Good for me. I love it when he looks sad. I don't know why I love sad Ichiya. He's so beautiful and adorable, and you just kind of want to hold him and pet him and tell him everything's going to be okay. You're like, no, sweetie, stop. Aww. Sad Ichiya is adorable. I don't know. I want to know the real you. Huh? To be blunt, when we first met, I didn't think very much of you. You seemed too flaky, untrustworthy. It's just like, is this supposed to make me feel better? Because I think my heart stopped. And as we've spent time together, I've gotten to know you a little better, and, well, I look at you a bit differently now, I suppose. I do want to learn more about you, but with you constantly flirting and flattering me, I can't really catch a glimpse of who you really are. And that's why you said what you did? It is. Oh, is it disappointing to you that I'd rather talk to you normally than have you flirting all the time? No, no, not at all. In fact, if that's why, then I'm ecstatic. I'm touched, incredibly touched that you'd want to get to know me on a more personal level, Spacey. And now he's like flirty and has these like slutty little bedroom eyes. Don't get me wrong, I like this look too. But sad Ichi is adorable and pulls at your heartstrings. And you're like, I just want to hold you. And this you're like, what are you thinking, you pervert? Goddamn degenerate. Kind of here for it, but... oh, really? Uh-oh. I think I overdid it. That would probably be an issue later, but right now I was simply glad that he was taking things well. I think I understand where you're coming from better now, Spacey. I promise I'll do my best to oblige. But, well, what you saw is my normal. It won't be easy to change things overnight. I suppose that's true. So how about we try this then? And to help you get to know who I am, how about we just spend more time together? In other words, we could go on another date. No question about where he was going with this. You literally were like, I want to get to know you better. And he's like, then we could go on a date. And you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, that's not what I meant. Bro, come on. Where'd you think he was going to go with that? Basically just handed him the bacon and you're like worried, you're concerned that he ran off with it? But that may not be a bad idea. Good girl. Okay, good for you. Exactly where we should have gone. The way this conversation had gone, I wasn't going to get a chance to ask what I'd originally hoped to. It'd probably be better if I tried again some other time. Alright, another date then. Great, thanks. Ichi's face lit up as he nodded. It wasn't that bad a look. It was almost cute. Is there anywhere you'd like to go? I want to enjoy the night skyline again, or maybe an amusement park. Is there anywhere you want to go? I'd love to go wherever you want to go. You can pick. Ichi's answer was the same as it was during our first date. He said it so naturally I felt my brows furrow together in concern. I'm flattered that you want me to choose again, but are you sure you'll have fun too? Of course. When you're having fun, I'm having fun, and nothing makes me happier than seeing a smile on your face. I'd be like, okay, then you know what I want to do, what I really want to do? Yeah, I want to do what you want to do. I want you to pick the place because I want you to show me a side of you, something that you find very fun and exciting. That's how I'm going to get to know you. Because, like, what if I never wanted to go to an amusement park? Because I was like, I don't mind them, but, like, what is, but you love amusement parks. Seeing the joy on your face, getting to go to an amusement park and share that with me, it's going to mean a lot to me, Ichio. That same nagging feeling from our date came back. Yes, it was nice to be deferred in decision making, but on the flip side of the coin, it was kind of tiring. I don't think that's quite right. God damn it! Why, phone? Why are you so fucking stupid? I just wanted to turn off my freaking reminder to put on my trash because I don't need to put on my trash. I got nothing in it, so I got like one bag in there. I got a big trash can, and I really need to put it out. So it just the reminder popped up. So anyway. Not right. If there's anything I'm doing wrong, just let me know what. I'll do whatever it is that you like best. That's not what I mean. Should I simply say it's not fair for me to decide all the time? Or is my perspective just off? I opened my mouth, then closed it again, trying to find the words. Nothing came to me. Spacey, you don't have to hold back on my account. Really, say anything. All the other girls you dated, did you let them make all the decisions too? Huh? It's nothing. Forget it. I'll leave the planning for our date to you. Now I best get going. Good night. Wait. I really didn't need to say that. Was Samuki right when she said what she did? I wasn't sure. An odd feeling I couldn't put a name to it bubbled up, and then the words poured out of me. Still, something does feel off about all this. He's insecure because maybe he hasn't actually really... I mean, he's got the flirty, and the girls like it, but maybe he's never actually really had super date. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, oh yeah, I flirt with girls all the time, and I can, like, you know, whatever, but I'm not actually, like... There's a difference between I go on a lot of first dates, but I never get to like second or third dates. You know what I mean? Like it's different, you know? Ichi had told me before. He said loving a woman and having her love him back was his happiness. But then all his other girlfriends simply accept all his pampering without question and love him back? No, that's why he's sad. He's never had his happiness. Or, you know what I mean? It's always been very shallow, like, oh my god, thanks. Oh my god, that's so great, like, whatever, and then they get bored of it. You know what I mean? Like, in the very beginning, having someone pamper you and fawn over you like Ichi is great, and then after a while, you're like, this is a facade. Where's the real thing? You know what I mean? I mean, actually, like, Ichi would probably continue doing this forever, but you've got to wonder, like, is it the real you? To be loved just as much as you love. To love someone back because they love you. Sounds nice on the surface. Think about it and it seems transactional. Is that really what normal love is? No. I didn't have near enough experience with romance to come up with an answer to that question. You love someone, they love you, you both love each other, but it's not like, oh wait, you gave me love, I have to give it to you. I mean, when you love someone, it kind of almost is transactional if you think about it. Because, like, you give them love, they give you love. But it's not always a 100% equal exchange, you know? It's not like, oh, they did something nice for me, so then I have to do something nice for them, and then you keep tabs. I did 5 nice things for you this week. It's just doing something nice for the person you love makes you feel good, and you don't expect anything in return. But, I mean, at the deeper level, yes. If you love someone and you're doing things for them, you expect them to love you back. That's the whole point of a relationship. You love them, they love you. And you know what I mean? Like, the things you do for each other, those nice little things, aren't done on the transactional basis, but love itself at the deepest level, or I guess at the top, the I love you, you love me. That's the transaction right there. Simple. Not, I love you, and you don't give any fucks about me. That's not right. You know what I mean? So, you know, like, think about your friends. You know what I mean? You love your friends love you. Sometimes, you know, you might have friends that, you know, do more for you than you do for them, or vice versa, but you're not like, you know what? I did this one thing for you, and you never do anything. Like, if it gets to that point where you're like, I'm constantly always doing stuff for you, always there for you, and you give me nothing back in this friendship, or relate, whatever, then you start to realize it's one-sided, and one-sided is not the way any kind of relationship should be. Friendship, romance, love, anything. So, yeah, that's the deepest transaction is I give to you my love, you give me your love back, and then after that, you stop fucking, you don't count ties, you know what I mean? Like, my best friend and I were like that. Like, I did like, I always went to see her. I always dropped, like, I always, me always going, and it's like, she never came to see me, ever. I mean, we grew apart for other reasons, but then all of a sudden, afterward, you start thinking of that, you're like, I was always the one going to see you. You never came to see me, and there wasn't, like, it's not like, yeah, 9 times out of 10 I would go to you because it's easier. You come to me like one of those, and then cool. But you never did. You'd always make excuses. And so I always, and I'm like, and then it gets to the point where you're like, yeah, this is like a one-sided friendship. And then, like, you know? But again, came to me every once in a while. And then I came to you most of the time, totally would have been fine. You know what I mean? Like, different levels for everyone. But anyway. I didn't have near enough experience with romance to come up with an answer to that question, but love is sort of transactional. Again, at the very base level. I'm gonna guess this one. What is normal love? Yes. As a beginner at romance, I find the whole thing intimidating. I meet up with Kazu to get some advice. See, I told you this and now, because freaking Kasuga and every other route is like, give me your phone, bitch. I'm deleting his number. And this one he's like, whatever, you can't talk to him anymore. Because you knew he was fucking related to Ichiya. Sorry, we got a few minutes. We'll go into this one. What voice did we give Kazu? Because I'm pretty sure this is Kazu, but I don't. Anyway. Aha, I think I see. I don't remember what voice he had. See, I swear to God, look at him. Look at him. It's like base. Oh my God, Kazu was actually just Ichiya in a hat. In a stupid fucking hat. Like, I like hats, but your hat's stupid, bro. Like, he's got, like, probably waist-length hair tucked up in that motherfucker. It's too big. Like, I have, like, little freaking, like, cappy things like that. You know, like your little cabbie hat things, but, like, it's so big on the top, it's like a fucking mushroom. It's like a muffin hat. Like, what is that? It's like... You know what it is? You know what it looks like? It's the sport version of a chef hat. It's got, like, the visor on it, and it's, like, short and, like, whatever, but it still looks like you're wearing a fucking pastry chef hat up in here. Like what the... And then he's wearing his mechanic jumpsuit. It's just fucking Ichi on a goddamn hat. And glasses, anyway. Alright, so again, I don't remember Kazu's voice, but whatever. So of the 4 people courting you, Mr. Perfect Boyfriend has the lead by a hair, eh? I suppose so, all told. But that's only out of the 4 of them. I emphasized that last part as I spoke to Kazu, who was sitting directly across from me. Right, because the one who's really in the lead is my fucking butler. You know. At some point I hadn't noticed, the milk tea he'd ordered for me turned chill enough to stop steaming. I thought about it long and hard, but yeah, something about talking with him that's soothing. So much funnier if Ichio was Kazu. I would fucking die. And he's like, oh, okay, whatever. And it's like, he's like, as soon as I put that hat and the glasses on, I don't know, I just turned into a different person. And you're like, marriage fraud is because he has a split personality. Who's my other personality? Oh, dear God. That'd actually be kind of fucking funny. Last night I'd gotten a whisk message from him out of the blue. It's been a while, Spacey. How'd things turn out? Getting along well with them? It surprised me, and out of habit I went to reply right away. But then a moment later my fingers froze. Should I actually answer this? Do not meet with him again, miss. Please. That's for your own good. Kasuga knows, like, don't do it. It's just Ichi in a fucking wig. I feel like if he was wearing a wig, but it's just Ichi in a hat and sunglasses. Like the Clark Kent disguise over here. Oh my God. I was full on board that, like, okay, Kazu's related to Ichi because they have the same color hair and eyes. Like, stop it, right? And he's got the glasses on like you're supposed to not be able to tell, right? And I was full on board with that, but now I'm like, I really actually want Kazu to just be Ichiya. Full on fucking want that now. Everyone else has got all these weird other secrets, and you're like, Ichiya just has a split personality, and you're like, what? What is happening? It's not his brother, it's just him. Lord. Oh, come on. Games are never as funny as I want them to be. I don't get to marry Kasuga, and Ichiya is not just wearing a cap and glasses like Clark Kenting us over here. It started to reply in reflex, marking his message as read. He would know I'd seen it. No doubt he'd be waiting for a reply. You know what? It's been a while since I heard from you. I'm worried you're under a lot of stress by yourself, so I thought I'd get in touch. I'd really appreciate a reply. Even just a quick hi is fine. Well, it is rude to suddenly stop communicating with someone. I can at least say one last thing. Sorry, I think this might be the last message I can send to you. And yet... Still, I have to admit I was surprised when I got your reply. I was starting to worry that something had happened to you. I'm sorry, but his shirt also looks like it says bro on it, dude. Like, look at his shirt. There's an R and a thing, and I mean, it's not really because it wouldn't be positioned that way. The R would be like in the middle, but I'm just saying, it looks like it says bro. That could be an 8 or something, but it looks like a B and an R, and that. I still want it to be fucking Ichiya in a hat, but I'm sorry, things were a little busy here for a while. I couldn't go to my suitors for advice, not when I've been talking about each other to them. I couldn't ask Kasuga either. Not when I'd be talking about each other to them. Okay, yeah. I couldn't ask Kasuga either. Samugi was the only one I could go to. But with Samugi being the way she is, Kazu is probably the only person I could turn to for a serious discussion about the weird, conflicted feelings I had for Ichiya. I know I'm supposed to be avoiding him, but And then he sounded so worried for me when I finally did reply, asking what had happened and if I was okay. Eventually, I asked Artie to be my alibi again and came here to meet with him. Kasuga's like, bitch, I have your phone tapped. I goddamn have it on GPS. I know where you are. You know Kasuga does. He's got a fucking chip in us. You're dealing with 4 of them at once. I can see how that'd be taxing, but you're here now. You can relax around me, okay? Exactly what a fucking kidnapper would say. But you've got fucking... Oh, do you have candy in your van? I'll get in. Thank you. You don't have to thank me. Whatever the reason, I really just wanted an excuse to come and talk with you again. He sounded honestly concerned. I nodded slowly, so he makes the same fucking Ichi face. So, yeah, shall we get back on topic? Let's see if I have this right. You think Mr. Perfect Boyfriend may not be too bad, but you worry about his past lovers. Basically. Well, he is in his mid-20s. From everything he told me, he seems like the experienced type. All his acquaintances are girls, too. But when they chat, he flirts with them constantly, standing much too close to them and smiling at them. It's clear he's had so many other girlfriends before now. Probably never had any, just because this is like, it's so obvious. I know there's no point in worrying about it, but every time he flirts with me, I can't help it. Now you wonder what he was like with his other girlfriends, how he's different for you, if he is at all. I have that right? Pretty much. I know it's meaningless to compare myself to those other women, but I pulled my shoulders further and further in as I talked. Mazu looked at me and smiled gently. Now it's understandable. Anyone in your situation would do the same thing. Most of the time this would just be a trite instance of jealousy toward his exes, but your situation is a bit, different, I'd say. Oh? Generally, when girls get jealous, there's an undercurrent of hostility toward the earlier girlfriends. But it isn't like that with you, right? You aren't angry at all the romantic experience Mr. Perfect has, and you don't feel all that strongly about any of his past girlfriends. What you're doing is simply making a comparison between the present and the past. I'm sorry if this offends you, but you said once that you effectively have zero romantic experience, right? Basically? Right. And since you don't understand what normal romance is, you feel inferior to his exes. And that's spurring you to try and find out what it means. Yeah, you may be feeling a little something for Mr. Perfect, but you can't act on those feelings. A part of it's probably because of his past. But I suspect the bigger issue is likely a problem coming from inside you, Spacey. You just aren't confident that this is real, honest love. Mazu's words stunned me. Now that he said it out loud, it was all so clear. I didn't know whether or not this was truly a normal romantic relationship. That's why I doubted Ichiya's motives for always deferring to me. That's why I kept asking myself, is this what normal couples do? But if that's the case, what do I do? Whether I'm on a date with him or just hanging out at home, he acts the same. He defers to me in every issue, thinking only about making me happy. God, that sounds like such a problem! It might get annoying, but like, geez. Listen, some of us have real problems. Is the correct answer to accept what he's offering? To give him what he wants by letting him pamper me constantly, like he did with all his other girlfriends? I mean, the thing is, it gets annoying. You're like, yeah, but you want to pamper someone too. You're like, Ichiya, I want to do something you want to do every once in a while. Just every once in a while, not all the time. No, and I want you to understand if you ask me for something, like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. Then you're cool with it, and you don't get mad about it. Awesome. Like, 98% of the time, I want you to pamper me, but like 2% of the time, I'm going to do something nice for you, and I just want you to shut up and take it, okay? All I'm saying. Hence why I'm alone. Anyway. No, I don't think that's it. Kazu shook his head, taking a sip of his, by now, lukewarm coffee. And personally, I think the idea that you're obligated to love someone back only exactly as much as they love you is bunk. I mean, how do you measure love? Okay, see, but I mean, alright, so he's in there trying to be like, I don't think that's bullshit what you said before, Spacey. I didn't say it had to be 100%, but you love someone, they love you. That's the transaction. Again, it's not like a dollar for a dollar. There's like a currency conversion here, right? But it's still a transaction in the, I'm not going to just give you unconditional love and you don't give me fucking shit back. I love you, you love me, we share that, and, you know, in the long run, it's even in the sense of, like, I might only have X amount of love to give, and I give you all of it. You have Y, you give me all of it. Like, yeah. As long as we're both on the same boat, that's cool. Like, it's fine. But it's still a give. I give you, you give me. Swapping, That's the same thing with a bartering situation. I give you a present, you give me a present. They may not be of the exact same retail value, but it's the thought, the feeling, the intent, all that behind it. You know what I mean? And the fact that, like, maybe I have more money to buy you a more expensive gift and you don't, so you hand make me something. It's like, oh, that's so sweet. I'm like, whatever. You know what I mean? It's the thoughts, the emotions, the things behind it. But, mind, it isn't like I've actually met Mr. Perfect Boyfriend, so I don't know if this is all accurate. Bullshit! Yes, you have. I wonder if you know your brother's there. I don't know. You know him. I'm sorry. You're related. You can't not be. Look at the hair, the eyes. Stop it. But I have to wonder if he has dependency issues when it comes to women. Or with love in general. Dependency issues? Yeah, I bet he has major anxiety problems if he thinks someone doesn't love him. That's why he tries to overcompensate by pouring it on with others. Ichiya doesn't think you love him, and that's why he has it. You know what, Kazu? Get out of here. It's okay. I'm going to take it. He's convinced if he loves someone hard enough, they'll grow to love him in turn, so he pushes and pushes. And then we fall out the window and we end up dead, and then you're never getting love back, Ichi. I'm going to say stop pushing. Now, this is going to sound harsh, but that isn't love. It's a transaction, an exchange where he only gives because he expects he'll get something in return. Okay, that's sad. I mean, I get it in that sense, but... I blinked, surprised at the venom in Kazu's usually kind voice. He must have noticed because he grimaced and knocked back the dregs of his cold coffee. Anyway, at the end of the day, what's most important is what he really feels. Is it truly you he cares for, or would he be happy with anyone so long as they feed him the love he's desperate for? I think that deserves some careful consideration on your part. Yeah, you're probably right. So glad I got to discuss this with you, Kazu. You helped straighten out so many things in my mind, including some of my own foibles. I'm happy to hear I could help. I hope I wasn't too blunt. No, not at all. I really appreciate your candor. You're an earnest girl, Spacey. Sometimes a little too earnest. Personally, I think you could focus on yourself a little more and no one would be upset. That's harder than it seems. Yeah, it probably is. As an adult, you have to look out for your own interests so much more often. Your selflessness is a shining beacon. Kazu, you think you're self-interested? Oh, definitely. I made it look at it, but I'm actually pretty mercenary. Kazu smiled slyly at me. He definitely doesn't look it to me, but... you're doubting me. Not really. I mean, ever since we've met, you've been nothing but kind to me. I can't see how that counts as self-interested. You're giving me advice without getting anything in return. Oh, no, he's taking you away from me. He's trying to, worm his way in. Oh? I think I'm getting plenty in return for my advice, actually. Chatting with you is fun for once. Chatting with you is fun for one. Wow, I can't read. And not only that, I get to have coffee together with a young, beautiful woman. I think any man would consider that a fair exchange, and then some. Oh. I wasn't sure how serious he was being. I wasn't sure I minded so much either. He was extremely good at handling people. To be honest, I envied his ease. I kind of, again, feel like this is like Ichiya's suave brother, who blah, 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 and the marriage fraud, and it was basically, then they blamed on Ichiya, and he was like, yeah, it was me, because he doesn't know how to deal with it, and, his brother's just really good with saying shit like this. That's pretty suave. You're like, oh, okay. And he doesn't come off cheesy and cloying like fucking Ichiya, right? And then Ichiya just overdoes it. He was like, I do not know how to talk to girls. My brother does this. And then Ichiya just did it times 50. And and it seems to work. Because some of Ichiya's lines, you're like, they are so cheesy, but I like it. Right? Yeah, well, that aside, if anything happens between you and Mr. Perfect Boyfriend again, will you let me know? Well, I suppose I could. Great, I'll keep my fingers crossed that everything turns out for you. Alright, thanks. We have a scheduled date coming up soon. I'll send you a whisk message after and let you know how it went. I know we're whatever, but it's okay. Somehow, knowing Kazu was keeping his fingers crossed for me made it seem like things would turn out okay. Feeling a little better, I hung out with him in the coffee shop for a while longer, sitting and chatting and enjoying every minute. I mean, I do feel like he's most likely somehow related to Ichiya. I still feel brother, but I just would laugh my ass off so fucking hard if it was just Ichiya in a fucking head. The only way I can tell you I'm insecure is putting on a hat and glasses and having coffee at a cafe. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm going to stop this here and we'll read the Oh my god. Poor Arnimura has to deal with Ichia. This is amazing. That's going to be a great way to start the next part. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.